G'day guys. Today, it's the next day. I've recorded some of these on different days. So the next day, this is what I would like to talk to you about today. What is the difference between texture pastes, modeling pastes, transparent brands, all that sort of stuff. So I have got for you, I've grabbed out, five of the ones that I have tried that I like, that I'll tell you what I like about them, I'll tell you what I don't like about them. I have already swatched these ones out. Now this is the stencil that I used, and I've already swatched them out so that they're dry. So when I show them to you, they're dry, okay? So you can get a true sense of what they're like. Now, where will I start? Okay, hang on. I'll put this one up here so you can see. So these are the two, let me move this out of the way, all fingers and thumbs this morning. So these two are the two there and there. So these are Montmartre brand, and they are an Aussie company, and they, look, I can pick these up in my local area. They're usually a little bit cheaper than the big name brands, but to be honest, let me see, does this one have a price on it? I picked this one here up off Amazon just to try. I wanted to see what it was like, to see if it was anything like this one. And it's very similar. It is very similar, and it has a similar, it's a lot more white though, if that makes sense. So this one is a light molding paste. It does the same thing as this modeling paste. It does the same job. So what I noticed with these two, so these are the two modeling pastes. Now, I noticed that the Montmartre brand is quite bright and white, which is good. I like it because you can do like tone on tone. You can have white on white and it stands out, which is really good. These two take a little bit longer to dry down than what the Ranger ones and the Crafters Workshop ones do, but great product. I have no, like I said, these short videos are not designed to bag a product or a company. It is merely my opinion of the product, of what I've tried. As you can see, this particular one, I've actually used a fair bit of it. And you know, you can see in there, I've used a fair whack of that. I prefer to use this one on when I do canvases and artwork, that sort of thing. So that's what I like to use that one on, because it is quite dense and heavy. This one is a lighter, it's a lighter formula. It has a sort of a whipped, if I can get the camera to see, it's more of a whipped consistency. So it is lighter when it goes down, but it stays quite white, which I really do like. So for that tone on tone effect. So that's the two Montmartre ones. Now, the next two that I will talk about is, well, this one's the transparent one. So this is Ranger's texture paste. It's a transparent and it dries down to a matte finish. So it's not shiny, it's not, you can see it there, it's not shiny, it's not satin. When it dries down, it is quite transparent. There may have been a little bit of one of the others still left under there, because that's what it dries down to there. It takes on colors really well. All of these take on colors really well. I use anything and everything to color my pastes. I use everything from distress watercolors to watercolor paints to distress inks, distress oxides, you name it, and I've used it to color it. The transparent is very similar to the distress ink in the fact that it's a translucent color when you mix it together. If you mix it with distress oxide, it will become more opaque like this. So that's what I found with that. Again, I'll show you how much of it I've used for my opinion. There's a fair bit of that's gone. So now I will give you an example of what I've used. I do have a few examples off to the side there that I'm going to show you at the end of what I've used and how I use these in my scrapbooking layouts. Now, these two little babies, these are probably two of the most used ones that I have. These three here are probably the three that I use the most. We have the Distress Texture Paste, that is this one. And we have the TCW Light and Fluffy Molding Paste. So, modeling paste, modeling, however you choose to word it. So, I love this one. This one is my, and I'm waiting for stocks to come in so I can get some more of it. I absolutely love this product. It is light. It does not weigh down my project. It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. It takes on colors beautifully. It stays matte when you put it down. It doesn't have a gloss to it. If you choose to add a gloss finish to it, you can add that on top. That one is probably my favorite out of all of them, and bang for buck, it's really good as well. So this one here is the Distress Texture Paste. This one is the matte finish as well. It also is that kind of whipped buttery texture. It's nice. It's a heavier texture to this one. So if I was lining them up weight wise, I'd probably say that's the lightest one. Then I would say the Montmartre one would be next, and then I would slip this one in. So the Distress, it's the heavier of all three. It's not a problem, it's just an observation. So I say this all the time. I'm not pointing out a problem with a product, I'm pointing out an observation. You are the one that makes the purchase. You are creating your layouts, and you know what you prefer and don't prefer on a layout. So for me personally, I like my layouts to have texture, to have that awesome feel to it when you're touching and doing, all that sort of stuff. I like all that, but I also like to look after the spines of my albums and try not to add too much weight to it. And that's what this does. This one, she's a heavy sucker. It stays heavy, it's dense, it's meant to be that way. That's what it's for. It is a premium paste, but I steer clear of this one on my scrapbook layouts these days because there are much lighter alternatives. So this one's probably going to just be a backup for me. Once I get my hands back on this one, I can tell you now I will be reaching for that one all the time again. So that is the modeling paste little realm. That's what I've used. That's what I've tried. You can put this through stencils. You can put this down straight on your page. You can add color to it. You can leave it transparent. You can leave it white. You can, whatever you prefer. You do whatever you want on your layout. You can put it over the top of materials like ribbons or muslin or something like that. You can put it over the top of that. It is, the world's your oyster. There is no wrong, and this is what I will keep saying through this entire little mini series. There is no wrong. So you try it. If it works for you, bonus. And if it works for you, jump down in the description below, jump over onto the Facebook group and share it over there, because the only way we all grow together is if we share together. There's no point in finding something that works that's amazing and then keeping it to yourself, because we're all crafters, we're all scrapbookers. We want to share and learn together. So now I want to show you a few examples of where I have used these pastes. I'll move these out of the way. So some of the examples on layouts that I've used these pastes. Now this around the outside edge, all of the layouts that I show you, by the way, have got process videos for them if you want to go and look for them. They are a bit of a deep dive situation, but jump in and you'll find them. This was a layout that I created using the clear transparent texture paste. That's what I used through here for the water. I used to color it, I used the watercolor pencils. I think I used some of the watercolor pencils, and that's what I did for the water. And then the outside edge I used, I'm pretty sure it was one of these two. It may have been the Distress, because it's quite dense. I think it was the Distress one that I used on the outside edge of the pool edge, basically. So you can see how much texture it gives you and how awesome it looks when you get in there and you just move it around and put it how you like. And you can see this one here, the transparent one. It says that it's matte, but see how it does leave a bit of a sheen to it. So I have no problem with that when it comes to water. So I was really happy with that. So yeah, so that's one layout to create texture using the texture pastes. Now this one it's creating texture but not with texture paste. So that's why I thought I'd show you this one. It's just all glitter and glue basically. And I was going to, I don't even know why I've got this one in this pile. I don't know why. Oh, look, there's a really pretty layout for you to look at. I don't know why that one was in there. So this one I used, instead of using texture paste. So sometimes you want a raised up texture. Okay, so you want something that's raised up that you can physically feel that's raised up, right? But you can also get that just by putting a thick bodied paint through a stencil, and you can see there. So you can see, you can feel it, and it's raised up a little tiny bit, but it's not bulky. So you can do that with either your gesso, if you've got white gesso, or white paint, and that works too. So don't necessarily think because you don't have one of these you can't create texture like this. You can. So this one is one that I wanted to show you because I have to hold it on an angle because of the color and the camera struggles a little bit. So this was a 12 by 12 stencil, and I put the TCW one through it, and this is how it turned out, and it feels amazing, literally every single little bit, and it works amazingly. It's really, really good. So, and you can feel all the texture. Now, the last thing I wanted to do was show you very quickly on a piece of scrap. I want to show you, actually I'll use a larger sheet. I want to show you the technique that I have found that works the best when it comes to, I'm going to use one that I don't use all the time. So when it comes to palette knives, and I did touch on this in an earlier video, you've got all different ones, right? These are just the cheap ones you can get from the cheap shop. So you've got your offset palette knives, right? They're the ones that are sort of in a lightning bolt shape. That gives you a lot more control because you can press it down and you're not putting your fingers in it, compared to one like this that I use to mix up color. Okay, so I want to just really quickly show you the difference between putting it through with a smaller palette knife versus a larger one. So with a smaller one, I'm just going to do one scoop. That's it. That's all I get on there. And if you hold your palette knife sort of on that angle, it goes in, but you end up with quite a patchy effect, and it takes a fair bit to work it all in to get it down flat, right? Now, here's something I've learned over time. If you use pop that in water, always rinse everything off straight away when you're using modeling paste. Now, if you use a larger one, you're going to get the same one scoop, right? One scoop. But when you're using it, I put my finger down there, so it's like I'm holding, so I've got a really good firm grip on it. And the best way I can explain it is wipe it down and then wipe it like you're putting Vegemite on toast. That is the best way to get a nice, smooth transition through your stencil. That's the best way that I've found to do it. If you know a better way of doing it, let me know. But see, that way you get a nice, smooth stencil transfer rather than sort of some bits up and down. Now, it's completely up to you. What you might be going for the up and down look, so therefore use that technique. But if you're wanting a stencil to get a nice, flat, smooth finish, that's the way to do it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Bye for now.